Hello everyone, it's David from GameTown out in Waukesha, Wisconsin, and we are back with another unboxing video. This time around, we are breaking in the Mew VMAX League Battle Deck. With the recent set rotation, we are in need of a new standard deck, and I've been throwing around some ideas on what to play. Fusion Strike Mew VMAX looks like a fun little toolbox, and this will give us a nice core, something to play with before making some upgrades and some changes. So we're gonna break this open, take a look at the cards and the strategy inside, and see what we think about it. So let's go right ahead. This one features our Mew V and VMAX as the main headliner cards, and is one of the play level 3 decks that Pokemon has provided. There's been a couple other ones like that have released lately, but I'm always a sucker for the fan favorites like Mew, so I will be working on the. So we'll bust this open. Starting out with the supplies, we got our nice poison and burn markers that actually function as coins as well. A fresh set of damage counter dice in the blue and purple color scheme to match the deck we're going to be playing here. A code card, of course, for the deck to be redeemed online so I can get some practice against folks, even if we don't have people to play against in store at any given point. Alright, so starting out with the V's and VMAXs, we've got 2 copies each of the Fusion Strike Mew V, VMAX. Critical attack here is the Cross Fusion Strike. 2 energy lets you choose one of your benched Fusion Strikes Pokemon's attacks and use it as this attack. So 2 energies to use any attack on your bench. Really critical for the deck. And then this Genesect V, 2 copies of that. Once during your turn, you may draw cards until you have as many cards in your hand as you have Fusion Strike Pokemon in play. Means if you've got your active and your 5 bench, it draws up until 6 cards with the Fusion Strike system ability. Plus the Techno Blast attack for 210 damage is a decent damage output. So I am definitely nice to see that they included another nice support Pokemon in there. And then let's get into the energies and the other Pokemon that they've included here. So they did not sort it. It looks like it's pretty well sifted through. So let's split that out real quick and see what we've got to work with. Just gonna quickly separate out the trainers from the energies and the Pokemon so it's a little easier to parse when I'm going through them here. Alright, so energy count, we've got 4 basic psychic energies, 3 double turbo energies, so we can attack with Mew VMAX right away if we need to. It does do 20 less damage if it's got the double turbo attached to it. And then you've, of course, got your 4 Fusion Strike energy, which prevents all effects of your opponent's Pokemon's abilities done to the card it's attached to. And Mew V's Energy Mix attack allows you to search your deck for any energy card and attach it to one of your Fusion Strike Pokemon. So you can search out those double turbos or those Fusion Strike energies very easily. So small energy count due to the fact that your main attacker only usually requires 2 energies, possibly 3, but it's pretty good stuff. Let's see, in terms of our other Fusion Strike Pokemon, we've got 3 copies of Meloetta. Melodious Echo does 70 damage for each Fusion Strike energy attached to all of your Pokemon, so maxing out at 280 damage base, which is pretty powerful for 2 energy as long as you can keep all 4 of your Fusion Strike ones in play. We've got 2 copies of Deoxys, which costs, let's see, if the Pokemon has any Fusion Strike energy attached, does 80 more damage, so 160 for that attack. And then 1 copy of Oricorio. Let's see, Ability Lesson and Zeal. All of your Fusion Strike Pokemon take 20 less damage from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. But you can only apply one of these abilities at a time, so we won't be adding a second copy most likely. And being able to use the attack to spread 5 damage around is nice if for some reason your opponent can't take damage but can have damage counters placed on it. So nice little tech card right there. Little damage reduction never hurts anybody. So that's good support for sure. I'm going to have to go back into the tank a little bit, see if I can figure out which other Pokemon have Fusion Strike and see if they're worth playing over any of these other copies. But overall, relatively low Pokemon count, only 10 basics, but obviously it doesn't take a lot of setup to get these going. The only evolution in the deck is Mew VMAX right now, but I think possibly a 3rd or even a 4th copy of Mew V could be useful, just to make sure we don't ever have that problem of not having enough Pokemon on the bench for these attacks. So that's a pretty easy breakdown there. Let's take a look at the trainer support. So we've got Battle VIP Pass is a must. Fog Crystal for energy or Pokemon search. Let's see how many of these they gave us. So they did give us the full 4 copies of Battle VIP Pass and Fog Crystal. So Fog Crystal searches for a basic Psychic Energy or a basic Psychic Pokemon, which gets all of our basics over here except Genesect and Oricorio. We do have, it looks like 4 Ultra Balls as well, which will search out the VMAX or the remaining the Genesect. We've got, in addition, we have some Power Tablets, which make your Fusion Strike Pokemon do 30 additional damage this turn. And you can stack those up. So 4 copies of the Power Tablet. Use them pretty much every turn you're going to attack if you can help it. Let's see. Cramomatic. Discard another item to flip a coin. If heads, search your deck for a card and put it into your hand. So That alongside the Ultra Balls will do a good job of keeping us at a low overall number of cards in our hand, so we can keep refilling with Genesect every turn. We have also got 3 copies of Choice Belt to do 30 additional damage to our opponent's active Pokemon V. This card may not be quite as relevant in the new format, since we now have the return of Pokemon EX for the Scarlet and Violet set. We've got a couple of switch mechanics here, 2 regular switches and 2 escape ropes to allow us to switch and force the opponent to switch. Let's see, 2 copies of Old Cemetery. Whenever any player attaches an energy card from their hand to one of their non-psychic Pokemon, put 2 damage counters on it. So additional damage spread to go alongside the power tablets and the choice belts. Let's see, we've got a little bit of energy acceleration in Elsa's Sparkle. There's 4 copies of that. Choose 2 of your Fusion Strike Pokemon. For each of those, search your deck for a Fusion Strike energy card and attach it to that Pokemon. So allows us to get all of those Fusion Strike energies out of our deck as quickly as we can, so that we're using them to the best of our abilities. And then 4 copies of the staple Boss's Orders to ensure that we are getting whatever the best target is out from our opponent's bench and back into the red zone. So lots of 4-ofs in here, very consistent, very strong early setup. This deck is just designed to do exactly what it wants to do every single time, over and over again. Taking a look at the actual damage output here, since we can very easily get a choice belt and a power tablet put up, that's an extra 60. Old Cemetery is going to give us an extra 20 damage from time to time. So that's, let's say, 80. And putting that alongside, the 280 from Meloetta, 210 from Technoblast, 160 from the Photon Boost on Deoxys. Or Mew VMAX does also just have Max Miracle for 130, and it's not affected by effects on your opponent's active Pokemon, so it gets through some of those pesky abilities or trainer cards. Overall, real strong damage output from the get-go, especially considering you can use Elisa's Sparkle or double Turbo Energy to set up those attacks on your very first turn. I guess it would be your second turn, since you can't get the VMAX on board until then, but you do have the potential to attack with Meloetta on your first turn. And if your Mew V is under threat from damage early, you can use those Psychic Leap attacks to shuffle it and all the attached cards into your deck. Plus, Mew V and VMAX both have free retreat, so it's real easy to swap in and out, make sure that you have the correct attacker in place at all times, especially alongside all those other switch mechanics. Overall, if I was going to change any cards out, I think we might trim down the number of choice belts slightly, maybe down to 1 or 2, and then maybe go down to 2, maybe 3 Cramomatics. Maybe cut 1 Boss's Orders and 1 Ellis's Sparkle, so that we can still have a lot of supporters in the deck, but it trims down the number of redundant cards and allows for a little bit more of a toolbox. I don't really like relying on the Cramomatics via coin flip, but it is a good way to get cards out of your hand to power up the Genesect, like I said. In terms of what we would replace, since we're relying very heavily on Boss's Orders to pick out targets, I think the card Echoing Horn from Chilling Reign, which allows us to put a basic Pokemon from our opponent's discard pile onto the bench, is really critical. You could use it to force your opponent to fill up their bench with stuff they don't like. So it's pretty easy to, put something that you can take a KO on, get an easy 1 or 2 prizes out of, and just gum up the works in terms of what your opponent's going to be playing. We could potentially add another copy or 2 of the Mew V or the Genesect V as well, just so we don't run out of those critical attackers. And in terms of other cards, I know there was a lot of new psychic types in the new set, but again, since our focus is going to be on the Fusion Strike Pokemon, I would need to go back and do a little bit of research to see what other Fusion Strike Pokemon are available and if they're worth playing. I know the main one that sticks out in my mind would be the Dragapult line, but that was a Stage 2 Pokemon, and so it would take either a little bit more setup or the addition of a couple copies of Rare Candy if we really wanted to make that one a reliable attacker. So I think overall the ones that we've got here are probably going to suffice, but who knows? There might be something that's a nice tech play, and finding out which other items out of Scarlet and Violet could be useful to see if any of them reference cards with a rule box rather than specifically Pokemon V. But overall, Pokemon wasn't kidding. They definitely went for level 3 max consistency, and this looks like it's going to be a lot of fun to play. Really looking forward to trying this out in some games at our league nights. So if you're local to the southeastern Wisconsin area and you want to join us, we are open on Saturday nights from 5 to 10 p.m. for our Pokemon League nights. I'm currently awaiting the results of my organizer exam so we can get the official everything back up and running as soon as we can. And we do have league promo packs available. So if you are available and you want to come join us, play some games, we'll be happy to have you here and see how this deck fares against folks that actually play the card game in paper. I'm going to probably go check this out online as well, give it a few runs and see how it goes. But as always, thanks again for watching. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button, like and share the videos if you would be so kind. That always helps us out to spread the word, and we look forward to seeing y'all in the next video. Thanks again, and you take care. Bye-bye.